The Bord Bia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards of traceability and care for the environment.
It's that time of year again, and isn't it amazing how quickly it seems to come around and catch us by surprise? As far as food is concerned, there's no need to be caught out, because Christmas is the one time of year that we're being constantly told to be organised and plan ahead. I've got a great selection of recipes for you this year, and I'm sticking with the traditional favourites, including a spiced butterfly leg of lamb, mince pies with a light frangipane topping, and a really good ham pie. Every year I try to come up with a new way to serve the turkey, and to be honest, it's a challenge to beat the turkey crown marinated in buttermilk, which has to be my most popular recipe to date. But I think you will enjoy this year's recipe, which uses a salt rub that gives the bird a superb flavour and texture. So this is about a 6-kilo bird, and this will feed about 8 to 10 people, about 8 people comfortably, so it will. We're going to use some lovely fresh sage and also some bay leaf. It's a herb that's underused and it's wonderful. So I'm going to chop everything nice and fine. So just chop it. See the way I'm holding the knife, rocking it over and back? So just a little bit finer. I'm going to just put them over here into our pestle and mortar. Some black peppercorns. Don't be shocked with the amount of salt, because this is to give wonderful flavour into the turkey, because you are going to wash it off. And then we're going to put a little bit of orange zest. And then just with the pestle and mortar, you're just going to mix this, bash this all together. It's a good workout, I have to be honest with you. And just rub this kind of all over, kind of press it in as much as possible. What's really important is that you wrap this in cling film, store it in your fridge, and after 2 days what you do is you rinse underneath cold water to make sure you rinse all the salt rub off, smear it with butter, and then get roasting. So I'm going to move this out of the way. So herbs are crucial in the stuffing, and what I'm using is some flat leaf parsley, or you can use curly parsley, and some sage. But you know what's lovely in stuffing is some thyme. Some fresh thyme is beautiful. Now I'm going to chop these in a minute. What I want to do is just to soften my onion. So we have 2 onions finely diced, and then just soften the butter here. So this goes in here with the apricots. So these are dried apricots, they're not fresh. And then I'm going to get some orange zest into this. Now I'm going to let that soften there. And I can just chop my herbs. And then watch the fingers. We don't want any accidents over the Christmas. So let's have a little look here. It's softened, there's no colour. I'm going to just get my board over, and then I'm just going to put in the herbs. Scrape them all through. But what I'm going to do is just some stale breadcrumbs. You can buy them or you can make them. Put them in here, it makes it easier. And then stir this through. So just get right in behind that. Using some tin foil, we're just going to empty it just into the middle of it. Now it is hot, so you've got to be careful doing this. And then you roughly shape it. Just twist it. And there we have it. So what you need to do now is let this go cold, store it in your fridge, and this can be done 3 or 4 days ahead. Then Christmas morning when your turkey's in the oven, just warm it up for 30 minutes to heat it through. The smell is delicious, so it is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. With the turkey that has been salt rubbed for 2 days, wash it off underneath cold water, and then you pat it dry with some kitchen paper. And what I love to do is make a lovely citrus butter. So it's just butter, softened, a little bit of thyme, some zest of orange and lime if you want. You can put different herbs into it, and then you smear that all over. The oven is preheated at 200. It's a nice hot oven for this. And this will take about 4 hours, 20 minutes. But remember, every oven is different. The secret into keeping your turkey moist is basting. Just using a big spoon, and then you spoon over these beautiful juices, just like that, and let them run over. So you're keeping it really, really moist. So this needs to go back in for another hour. It's nearly done. So to serve with the turkey, I'm going to show you some beautiful roast potatoes. And the key to roast potatoes, in my opinion, is really good oil or lard. And this is some beef dripping from James Whelan. Let's open it out. I just want to show it to you. It comes in a block like that. So it's completely set. And And what I'm going to do is put 2 large spoonfuls into the tray. And as I say, this is a fabulous product, so it is. These are just some roosters. And what I've done is just simply par cook them, or you can steam them if you want to. So I'm just going to place them in here. So it begins to kind of cook straight away. A little touch of sea salt. So this needs to go into the oven now. It's going to take about 45 minutes to 50 minutes. And halfway through the cooking process, you turn them once, and that's it. So let's talk about the vegetables that I'm going to serve with the turkey. This is one of my favourite vegetables, and it's underused, and it's a celeriac. You just peel it, and then you slice it, and you slice it really, really thinly. I have 2 large onions, which we've just simply softened. A little bit of oil. We're going to chop in some lovely herbs, a little bit of thyme, sage, parsley. In on top of the onion, which is softened. So I'm just going to stir through my herbs, and that's what I have there. Okay, 3 cloves of garlic. We just simply have them peeled, and then I'm going to just crush the 3 of them in here. So that's the onions, the garlic there, and your lovely herbs. So what I need to do next now is to slice the sweet potatoes. This is great. This is what we use here in the cookery school, which is a Japanese mandolin. So what do? We're going to put it into a dish, kind of like a Pyrex dish. So that's 1 layer of that. And them are onions. So that's with the garlic, the herbs. Look at how good they look. You could warm it through and serve it with a piece of steak. It's delicious. Just spread that over. And them are celeriac. I have to say, try this vegetable. It's just one of the best. It's so versatile. Great with cold meats, pate, that kind of thing. So the last layer is the sweet potato. So you have 1 layer of sweet potato, 1 layer of onions, celeriac, and then sweet potato on top. And then this is just some vegetable stock. You can use a cube, it doesn't matter. So cover this completely over. Some butter, and just kind of put little pieces on top like that. Cover it with some tin foil. And this needs to go into the oven for 45 minutes. And after that, I'm just going to sprinkle it with some breadcrumbs just to get them lovely and kind of toasted. But the secret is to make sure that all your ingredients are cooked through. That's the celeriac and the sweet potato. So now we're ready to serve up the turkey. Turkey has to rest for at least 15 to 20 minutes. You keep it covered in tin foil, so that means all the juices can stay inside the turkey. If you go to carve it straight away, all the juices will run out. That's really important. So we're going to serve this up. Now, how good do they look? A little bit of sea salt, beautiful beef dripping. Now for the stuffing. The easiest way, just with a pair of scissors, you just simply open it out. Isn't that beautiful? I don't think Christmas would be Christmas without Brussels sprouts. Then the turkey gravy. And then finally is the sweet potato and also the celeriac and sweet onion boulanger. I think that's a magnificent way of serving the Christmas turkey. And if you haven't cooked roast potatoes and beef dripping before, I definitely think it's worth giving it a go. A glazed ham is as much a part of the traditional Christmas dinner as the turkey. And for many people, it's their favourite part of the meal. You can get so much flavour into the ham with the glaze. The chances are, though, you will have some left over. And this next recipe shows you how to get the maximum value from the precious ham. First thing we need to do is start off by cooking some leeks, a little onion, so 2 onions diced, some leeks finely shredded, and then 2 cloves of garlic. So I'm going to crush my 2 cloves of garlic just in on top of the onion. We put in a little bit of butter. So using your spatula, you're going to soften this, just melt down the butter. In goes the onions, you can hear that sizzling already. And then in goes the leeks into the pot. So let that soften up. And that can take really anything up to maybe 5, 6, 7 minutes. Depends on how thick you cut the leeks and the onion. Put the lid on. So what we're going to make first of all is what we call a roux. The butter's melted, plain flour. Just sprinkle that in. Now, the secret is to slowly add in your milk. Just very slowly, a little at a time. So it's equal quantities of flour and butter. Just while I'm whisking, I'm going to put in some salt and some black pepper. So we're nearly there. We're going to put some Dijon mustard, 2 heaped spoonfuls of this. So that's our white sauce, as simple as that. we're just going to put some lemon juice into it. So these are a great thing, these juicers. I just love them. So squeeze all the lemon out. So that's it done, and this is it here cold. So that's our white sauce, which is cold, because this is really important for assembling the pie. If the sauce is hot, it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, especially with the puff pastry. So now we're ready to assemble the pie. Just make sure these are the leeks which I've already cooked and they're cold with the onions. That's nice. This is the puff pastry. And what I've done is I've cut out the actual shape of the dish, which I'll explain in a moment. And this is the big kind of pie dish, Pyrex dish like that. So what you do, you get your ready rolled puff pastry, put this over, just go around it with a knife, and that makes life very easy. So we're gonna get our leeks. This is the base. Just scrape them out. So that's the first layer. This is the cold white sauce. So we're gonna put a layer of this, just drizzle this all over. A little bit of cheese. Cheddar cheese is what I'm using. So this is finely grated. And then for me, the star of the show, our quality assured Irish ham, which is glazed, and it's really delicious. A touch of mustard if you want to. So cut into big cubes. Press that down. Then we have our lovely sauce all over. So then the rest of the cheese. So sprinkle this all over, lots of it. Kind of push this down. This will make it easier just for the puff pastry. You cut it the shape of the pie dish, and this was made with all butter. It's fantastic. So just using a small spoon, just a teaspoon, just push that in. So normally when we egg wash, it's 1 egg and milk, but this is 2 egg yolks and milk. So I'm going to brush this all over. The egg wash will give a lovely glaze onto the pastry. And there we go. That's ready for the oven. The oven is preheated at 180, and that's going to take anything between 20 to 25 minutes until it's golden brown and the pastry is cooked and the filling is warmed through. So this is what it looks like. So this took 25 minutes at 180, and just be careful, if your oven temperature is a little bit too high, you can turn it down ever so slightly. It's beautiful golden brown, and that's the lovely colour from the egg wash. After all the rich and complicated food over the Christmas period, this is a very comforting and simple pie, and ensures you get the most out of your Christmas ham.
The Bord Bia quality mark, ensuring your food is produced to the highest standards.